For 18 months across 2011 and 12, staff at North Glasgow College engaged in the Jisc funded Relationship Management Programme. Under the project title Support for All, staff engaged with the project aims and the principles of service design to ensure that the relationship with learners was being as well managed as possible. This short video provides a management and staff perspective on the involvement in the project. And the first thing that we did was we asked, what did the staff think that the project would be about at the outset?
The project was initially described to me as having the opportunity to examine the relationship that we have with our learners, and perhaps also to look at the resources that we currently use with our students on a day-to-day basis. Initially I was really enthused about the project. In our department within Learner Services, we don't often have the time to actually examine the service that we provide and the tools that we use to provide that service.
I was aware from the very beginning because Jim Brady had been the person to set things up. So we actually had a brief, we had a clear idea about what we wanted the project to shape up like. We had a blueprint, if you like. We were all quite clear, because we did work as a team from the kind of word go, that we were looking at some of the informal practices that we had, and it was really to test them in a more formal way.
We used the tools such as service design and blueprinting in the early stages to take a look at where we were starting from. We asked if this brought about any surprises.
I think yes, we did. We had eureka moments when we did the whole light bulb went on, because we realised, yes, what we did do was good. What we did all the activity and stuff tended to be in pockets, and we hadn't ever evaluated it in any particular way. So the project gave us a format to follow so that we could evaluate these 10 steps to engaging learners. Yeah, I think the whole thing was a bit of a eureka moment for us, and it kind of it reinforced for us, yes, we were doing it well, but we didn't record what we did. So doing this for the project, we developed proper form processes and things to do it through.
For us, we wanted to look at what we do and what resources we used. In order to do that, we had to kind of strip everything away and actually just look at the learner journey in its entirety. We wanted to see the challenges and the barriers that our students face, and that can be a different journey for each individual. For us to do that, it allowed us to look at every area that we currently work in, which is pretty much anything that's not academic. Where we analysed the learner journey, it allowed us to kind of see what gaps were in our service, and it was a good reminder for our staff just to see the kind of difficulties that our students have.
The main outcome which we took forward from the early stages was a 10-step model which took a learner from first realising that they needed support through various types and stages of support to a successful outcome. The blogs and reports give more information about this, but when we take a look at this with staff and students through the year, what impact did it make?
I think the benefits to students were probably the same benefits that some students had before, was that it was an improved service. We were rolling out a standard of service to all students, and not just for some that came to actually chap our door. So the engagement process became much more proactive. We were going out there and engaging more, so we had a wider impact, I think is the best way to describe it. The definite benefit for students is we've now established these processes.
I think we do see them as individuals every day when we're working with them one-to-one, but I think collectively as a team we were able to come back and kind of analyse that journey and just realise the extent of the kind of many challenges and barriers that our students currently face. From the focus groups and questionnaires, that was a real benefit to the project, because not only it was allowing the student to have a voice, but one of the early benefits that came out of the project was when we gathered students together for focus groups. We had some really healthy and interesting discussions, and one of the best things that came out of that was the students told us that our service was great, and they enjoyed many aspects of the service and gained a lot from our support and our help. However, it wasn't there always when they needed it, and that's when we came to an understanding that we probably had to provide a service that wasn't just within the normal college hours. We were looking at providing something that was available maybe 24/7. One of the main things that came out of the project was a new app. We realised that we had to be able to have better communication with our learners, and one way to do that was to provide our Blackboard service on an app which students could use on their phone, and that seems to have been really positive.
We worked as a team. We were all singing from the same sheet. We knew the words, we were quite clear in what we were doing. There was a clear benefit from that. The challenges were always going to be time. Not just time per se, but time management, to make sure that we were still all doing our job, but yet we still had set times for when we were working in the project and when we sat down together and did the feedback, things that are important to the project. So the biggest challenges were definitely time.
So now that we're at the conclusion of the project, what are the main developments to come from it?
One of the main benefits that was throughout the course of the year and is actually going to continue on for us was that by identifying those gaps that we mentioned previously and by looking at the learner journey, we were able to develop a 10-step process which we're currently still using at the moment. A 10-step process is a person-centred approach which allows us to look at both action and achievement steps. It allows staff to provide the specific support at the correct time for the student. It also allows us to select the most appropriate member of staff for the particular area or query.
Our own retention rates are now through the roof, and we've been asked, how did you manage to achieve these retention rates, because the increase has been so drastic, a very positive increase. So people like funding councils and so on are asking us, how did you manage to make this change? And that's what we've done. We've done it through this project. We've learned a lot of the kind of the critical friend stuff was very, very important for everybody's CPD, if you like. Yes, we learned. There would be no point in doing this kind of thing if we didn't learn. I think what we also have learned is that the resourcing of it has to be almost looked at from a senior management level, to say, right, here we've improved retention and everything else, and to sustain that we need to look at resourcing in terms of staff and in terms of time. Yeah, I think rolling this out to other colleges, we're going into merger here and maybe working with our own partners within the merger, we're quite clear now that we can say, yeah, these are the steps to take, and this Jisc project has made us say, right, this is the right time and here's what to do when you actually do engage with the learner. And our partners will learn from that.
To conclude, we feel that staff benefited from the opportunity to look afresh at what it is they do and develop a framework for that. The college benefited from staff development, improved performance and contributions to inspection goals, and most importantly, the learners benefited from an improved service and the delivery in the time and place that they were looking for. We'd just like to thank the Jisc staff, the CETA staff and the Critical Friends for the help that they gave us along the way, and also to thank the other projects from whose experience we benefited. Thanks a lot.